Well, it's another day, guys, and we're going to throw in a little tech tip between the what you doings. This is going to be a short and simple one. This car on the lift right now came in yesterday. It's our member Lawrence King in High Point, his BJ7, nice car, and it's come in for just a few things, and I'll show you what they are. But one of the things we're going to do is show you, if you've never done it, most every one of us have done this, but there's got to be somebody who'll watch this who cat's down here watching me, who may have not done it and want to do it, and just going to show you the only 3 ways you can screw this up. So we're going to show you what's going on. This is a BJ7, and the BJ7 and back on the Roadsters and stuff, they didn't have a booster, and they didn't have a booster. They did have a tack cable. So for us, it's easier on those earlier ones to do this up on the lift, to pull out the old canister, that messy canister that when you try to change the filter, it just gets everywhere, and it's such a mess. But on the BJ8s, it's easier from above because there's no tack cable, no booster, and everything's good. Ben has already pulled this and drained it so we could pull it off and not make a mess. And what he's going to show you is this is the old canister oil filter to remove. Now you see right here beside them, there's a starter cable. You just never know. We always cut the battery off just in case somebody left a key on or something, and you just don't want to take any chances. So it's like, just kill the power. All right, so you got the 2 bottom bolts, and those 2 bolts come out. Now when you're coming out with this, don't turn it upside down. You may be surprised how much oil is in that canister, a quart, and it'll go everywhere. So be careful getting it out, and then you can turn that and let it drain. And remember that nasty thing. Now what you got left, if you got a gasket in there that's torn, you'll want to remove it because you're going to have a new one on the conversion. This one's in perfect shape. So we've already glued our gasket on there, and these things used to come with 2 gaskets because they weren't thick enough. So if it's a good gasket, you can continue to use that and the new gasket that comes with the conversion. All right, so now we're gonna go get our conversion. Now over here, there's 3 things you can do wrong. 1, I like to cut the power off. 2, cut this light off. The only thing you can do wrong and screw this up is by putting this on upside down. You'll see in this picture, gasket and adapter on block. You have 2 holes there and here. If they're not lined up right and like this, let it go to voicemail. You will not get oil pressure when you put the filter on and try to start it. No, not taking it. Anyway, what you want to do is always make sure it's by the picture. Now for us, since we're old and senile, we always stamp a T in it on top there. So we know if we're from above or whatever, the T goes on top. There's no way. It'll tell you instructions on how to put this through, pencil through to make sure you're lined up. But it will look like that when you go on. Already glued on one of the gaskets, and so that will be correct. The other thing, the kit comes with 2 sets of screws, fine thread and coarse thread. The coarse thread is for 104s only. They are meant to fit in there, and only in the 104. If you try to use these, you're going to screw up your 6-cylinder block. So 4-cylinder, fine 6-cylinder. Set those out of the way. This is a 6-cylinder, so we're going to use those. And the last place you can screw this up, period, is in this picture. You will see where I've marked right here. You see this right here? The casting. This casting comes out. Now with 2 gaskets, not a problem, but sometimes that casting can interfere with this edge right here where I've marked and won't let it lay flat. So you want to test it up there, put it against it, and see if you got clearance. If it's touching there and you tighten it, there's still going to be a little play here and oil's going to get around it. So you kind of test fit that first and see how it does. If you got space and no gap and it sits flat, you're good. If it doesn't, take it off and just file some of that down so you know it'll go all the way, because I don't know how castings can change, but sometimes they might hit. Use double gaskets, you know it don't. All right, so I'm going to give this to Ben, and he's gonna put it on. See, I told you it was simple. These are Allen head screws. So it'll tell you about getting an Allen head. Makes it a lot easier than any bolt. But you want to get an Allen head big enough wrench that fits these to put them on. And he's already put sealer on the other gasket. We're leaving it too. With 2 gaskets, we've already checked and it doesn't hit there. And I don't have it that often, but every now and then we do. Oh, that's just Picky coming in from the other building, getting some getting some tools for other work that's going on in our big building. And Tom showed up. Tom, you're on video.
Well, that's good.
Hadn't seen him in a while, because when this stuff started, Tom's got Brenda have a farm down in the country, and they went, we'll see you when this stuff's over. Smart man. Because they got chickens and they got gardens. Now, how simple was that? Now, of course, we're using an Allen head socket. Give me a minute here, Tom. Good and tight. All right, now for filter, we like the Napa Gold 1450. Is it? That's what it is, 1415s? Yep. And they're made by Wicks. So 15/16 Napa Gold. But it's a Wicks filter. Excellent filter. Fram, we hate Frams. Frams are terrible filters. So we use the Wicks. We like the Wicks. 5, 15, 16. And you see why underneath it's easier for this, because we didn't have to, we can reach it because there's no booster, and we don't have to take the tack cable off and put that back on. Man, you've just done it. You've knocked it out. It's finished. Now, you put it in without being upside down and it laid flat, and use the right screws and a good filter like the Wicks 51516 or Napa 15/16 Gold, then you're ready to fire this up and get some oil pressure. Now, we always put a little oil in that oil filter so it ain't starting dead dry. But that's about it for that. Now, we're going to show you one other thing, but we're not going to make a long video on it because it takes a while this car's here. Not only just for that, but he's got an idler issue. As most of you know, you got a steering box on one side, and you have the idler on the other side. The idler works like the steering box. People forget you got to take that square plug off the top and keep it oiled like you do oil in your steering box, and it doesn't happen. It gets dried out. Then what happens is, hear that? That is this shaft moving around because it's worn out the bearings because somebody never put enough oil in it or the seal went. So, His wheel is, do it again, I'll show him how much it moves. Your wheel is doing this all the time, shaking. So once you do replace this, you're good. Now, we're running a rebuild on there. They're about half the price of another. But taking this off is no easy task because you got to undo the ball joints and the control arms and get that sucker out that ain't been in a long time. And then replace it and put everything back in, and you won't have that play. So the way to test it is just what Ben did. Just grab your wheel when it's off the ground. If you do that and hear that, you got an idler worn out and your right front wheel is doing this while you're driving. Don't call us and complain we didn't do your wheels and tires right. We did. You got other issues. All right, that's all for today. Where's the idler at, Ben? Aha. Ben is already, Ben keeps them rebuilt on the shelf. So we got one that's remanufactured, new bushings, honed out right, new gasket, already filled with the correct 90 weight, or what we use a lot of time when it's a new one, we'll put in Lucas Power Steering stop leak. Helps swell the seals, and it's the same weight, and it'll be replaced. That's all we got to do. And let's go see somebody we hadn't seen in a while before we say bye. Hi! Lorenzo called just before you got here while I was videoing. So how's things on the farm?
Growing.
That's good. Good, we miss you. All right, that's it. Tech tip for today. Bye.